In his speech in Philadelphia, Joe Biden said that the core definition of democracy is majority rule, and the minority must acquiesce in the will of an elected majority. They might be unhappy that they lost the election or that they're not the majority, but they've got to learn to go along, and better luck to them next time. Now, by this exact criterion, my question is, aren't the runaway Texas Democrats enemies of democracy? Let's consider. We have in Texas a red state. There is a Republican majority in both houses. There's a Republican elected governor. And there's a legislative session that is underway, and a whole raft of important legislation before the Texas legislature. So aren't the Democrats in skipping town obstructing an official proceeding, subverting democracy? All these terms are relevant here because the January 6th protesters are accused of, well, obstructing an official proceeding, subverting democracy. So isn't there really a close analogy between what the Texas Democrats are doing and what the January 6th protesters are accused of doing? Now, you might say that the January 6th protesters are, broke the law. Well, the Texas Democrats are breaking the law. It is unlawful for legislators to break quorum, not for any legitimate reason, I've got a family emergency, but rather because this is an orchestrated effort to prevent the legislature from conducting its business. I know the January 6th protesters stormed the Capitol. The Texas Democrats chose a different route. They didn't storm the Capitol. They took off. They left the state. But the practical effect in both cases is the same. In fact, arguably, the delay caused by the January 6th protesters was minor, a few hours, whereas the delay caused by the Texas legislature could be days, weeks, perhaps even months. Now, you might say, well, the January 6th protesters were just a bunch of yahoos. They just thought they didn't know what was going on, and they were reckless and irresponsible. Well, this is exactly the point. The Texas Democrats are not reckless. They're not irresponsible in the sense that they know what's going on. They are advised by lawyers. They are in consultation with the national Democrats. They're working in coordination with people like Kamala Harris. They know better. And so in that sense, their culpability is even higher. So I think what this leads me to conclude is that the extravagant praise of the Texas Democrats, they're fighting for democracy, is purely hypocritical. They're not fighting for democracy. They're undermining democracy.